Hello friends, Niels here and welcome back to another video. Today's topic, we're gonna talk about Chaos Bane, the Unholy Shard set bonus, and how to utilize as much as possible of it to increase your DPS. If you play around it, and if you time it properly, to a certain extent that you can control it, you can increase your DPS by a lot, and I think a lot of people overlook it and don't really pay attention to it. To begin with, let's explain first of all what Chaos Bane actually is. Once you have a headpiece that has a domination slot effect, socketing 3 Unholy Shards is going to give you the Chaos Bane effect. So what the Chaos Bane does actually is, once you damage target, it drains off soul fragments of it. Its soul fragment gives you 25 primary stat, stacking up to 15 times. Once you reach 15 stacks, you're basically going to explode, dealing a very small amount of shadow damage around you, and you're going to double up your primary stat from what you previously had. I'm currently sitting on a tier 4 shard bonus effect, as is the currently maximum that you can have, which results in a 750 intellect increase. On tier 5, which should kick in about 2 weeks from now, you're gonna have plus 900 intellect, which is obviously pretty insane. Just for retrospective, I have 1.9k baseline intellect, so you can tell that it's obviously a very huge intellect boost. So trying to overlap that with your AP and your cooldowns is gonna increase your damage significantly. The first thing I would like to show you is that you should get a weak aura, as you can see here on the left side of my frame, that tracks up the stacks and the duration of the buff. Another thing I wanted to talk about that you probably might not know is, as you can see, my target is currently polymorphed. I'm in combat with him, but I'm not attacking him. So I'm just spamming Arcane Intellect, and as you can see, I got a proc on the Chaos Bane. So any abilities can trigger it. It's not only damaging abilities. Why this is important, as I'm going to show you in the next video, is any encounter that you have downtime, you can actually manipulate the shards to get closer to a proc. So as soon as you come in contact with the boss again, you can trigger the proc and increase your damage by a lot. Talking about what I said in the previous video, here's an example. So as you can see, we're currently on Sylvanas. This is the end of phase 1 after she goes immune, where you kill all the chains. Basically in this phase all you have to do is dodge the battles and the rives. Instead I'm chasing her around, spamming arcane missiles, trying to increase up my stacks. I currently have 4 stacks, so I'm trying to aim for at least 10 before the intermission begins. I'm gonna come in the middle and cast Veil now, and she will transition to phase 2. I managed to get up to 7 stacks, which is pretty okay, considering I started at 1. During the intermission, she's obviously far away to hit at first, so I'm just gonna spam some arcane missiles. Always bear in mind about your mana. This phase is not so mana intensive as there is downtime, so I can just blow all of my arcane explosions and then an evocation, the worst case. After doing some research, I figured out that arcane missiles is the best way to get stacks. The good thing about arcane missiles compared to any other spell, arcane explosion or whatever, is that every single set of missiles has a chance to give you a proc. It's not just tied to the initial spellcast. So after doing testings, I had pulls where I got anywhere from 0 to 3 stacks in one arcane missiles window. Obviously, technically you have a chance to get more, but yeah. So as you can see here, I get to 14 stacks, I get to the boss. I'm gonna press my cooldowns, it's gonna line up my Chaos Bane effect, and it's gonna be very big damage. I just crit the boss for a 50k arcane blast followed by a 154k barrage, so you can see that the effect is very strong. Just to give you an idea of how strong Chaos Bane is, let's analyze the logs. So we're currently tracking our arcane barrages in AP and Spark window. As you can see, my minimum crit is about 110k, while the one that I did with Chaos Bane managed to hit for 154k. It's quite the difference. I'm just gonna pull up a graph of all my pulls on Sylvanas lately. For those of you who know me, you know that I've been doing a lot of Sylvanas and I've been experimenting. Obviously the pulls are gonna vary a lot, and that has a lot of factors in. Some are controlled by you, for example how much you crit or how much you overlap Chaos Bane on your cooldowns, and then there's factors, obviously kill timer can play a big part, and how much damage the rest of the group does and whatnot. But you can obviously tell that if you manage to align up everything, you're gonna expect to do a big log. In case some of you are wondering about the buffs to the Blood and Frost sets coming off with the next reset, they will still not end up being competitive. Unholy will still be the best set for any of the mage specs. Frost looks to be very good, the buffs. However, the problem with it is it does not accumulate 100% of your crit. So it's not gonna ever be better than Unholy, even for specs like Fire or Frost that crit basically on every spell. It's gonna be very good for targets like Outlaw Rogue, Discipline Priest, etc. But it's not gonna be competitive. We're still gonna end up running Unholy unless furthermore nerfs to Unholy occur, or I don't know, maybe furthermore buffs, which I don't think will happen, as both of these are very competitive now for a lot of specs across the board. So we're just gonna end up playing Unholy for the remainder of the patch, unless something changes in the future. Just to cap things off in regards of this video, basically you should get a weak aura to track your stacks. And remember, whenever there is downtime in fights, try to manipulate your shards in your stacks to get closer to 15. Also, in encounters where you're not pushed to use your cooldowns on cooldown or on a specific timer, whenever you're close to proccing your set and your cooldowns are up, you should hold your cooldowns until you have a proc. For example, if you're on 12 or 13 stacks, you should always wait until you get the proc when you pop. Be mindful of these things and your DPS is going to drastically increase. That's it for this video. I think I covered everything I wanted to talk about. Hope you found this video helpful. In case, consider dropping a like, it will help me out a lot. Until the next one, thanks for watching and peace out.